welcome. And if you are hearing this now, it simply means that you woke for a moment during the night, which is something the body does naturally from time to time. Sleep moves in gentle cycles, sometimes rising closer to the surface for a short while before drifting deeper again. So waking briefly during the night is not a problem. It is simply part of the rhythm of sleep. And right now, there is nothing you need to fix, nothing you need to force. The body already knows how to return to sleep. All that is needed is to allow the process to begin again quietly. So take a moment to settle comfortably where you are. Allow the body to find its easiest resting position, perhaps adjusting the pillow slightly, or allowing the shoulders to settle deeper into the mattress. Small movements that help the body become comfortable again. And once the body feels settled, allow the eyes to remain gently closed, because darkness helps the mind recognize that it is still night, still time for sleep. Now bring your attention softly to the rhythm of your breathing. There is no need to change it. Just notice the breath moving slowly in and out. The chest rising gently as you breathe in, then settling again as you breathe out. Breathing happens automatically, and when you notice it quietly like this, the breath often becomes slower on its own. Each breath out, allowing the body to relax a little more. Each breath out, releasing any tension that appeared when you woke. You may notice the shoulders softening, the neck relaxing, the jaw loosening slightly, the tongue resting comfortably inside the mouth. These small changes are the body beginning to settle again, because the body remembers sleep. Even if the mind woke briefly, the body still knows how to return. Now allow your attention to move gently through the body, beginning with the forehead, the skin there soft and relaxed, the muscles around the eyes resting completely, eyelids comfortably closed, heavy and still. And as the eyes rest, the mind often begins to quiet again, thoughts slowing, attention turning inward. Now allow that relaxation to move down into the face, across the cheeks, into the jaw, the teeth resting slightly apart, the mouth relaxed. Then allow that relaxation to move down into the neck and shoulders, the shoulders settling more heavily into the mattress, letting go of any effort they were holding. There is nothing you need to hold up tonight, nothing to carry. The bed supports the entire weight of the body, and as the shoulders relax, the arms begin to rest more deeply as well. upper arms heavy, forearms loose, hands resting comfortably beside you, fingers relaxed and still. Now bring your attention gently to the breathing again. Notice the calm rhythm continuing, in and out, slow and easy. Each breath helping the body move closer to sleep again. Allow the chest to remain soft and relaxed, the stomach rising and falling gently with the breath. There is no need to control anything. Sleep returns more easily when the body is allowed to relax completely. Now allow the lower back to soften against the mattress, the hips settling comfortably, the legs relaxing more deeply, thighs heavy, knees loose, calves relaxed, the entire body now becoming still and comfortable again, from the top of the head all the way down to the feet, supported, relaxed, ready for sleep. And as the body settles, the mind can settle as well, because there is nothing you need to figure out right now. If any thoughts appear, they can simply pass by. There is no need to follow them. They can drift away, just like clouds moving slowly across the night sky, appearing briefly, then fading away again. Each passing thought becoming quieter than the one before. Each moment of stillness growing slightly longer. And with each gentle breath out, the body remembers more clearly how to return to sleep. Because sleep is already familiar. The body has done it every night. The rhythm is already there, waiting quietly beneath the surface of awareness. And now that rhythm begins to take over again. Breathing slow, muscles soft, thoughts fading, the body drifting gently back towards sleep, just as it was meant to do. And as the body continues resting in this comfortable way, the quiet rhythm of the night begins to take over again. There is nothing you need to do to help it. Sleep has its own natural timing, its own gentle rhythm that the body understands completely. Even when the mind wakes for a short while, the body still remembers sleep. It simply waits for the moment when everything settles again. And that settling is already happening now. Breathing slower, muscles softer, the body becoming heavier against the mattress, You may notice how the stillness begins to feel deeper. The kind of stillness that appears when the body is ready to rest again. The shoulders comfortable, the arms resting easily, the legs loose and relaxed. Every part of the body supported completely by the bed beneath you. Allow the breath to continue exactly as it is. Soft, steady, unforced. Each breath out, releasing any remaining tension from waking. Each breath out, helping the body settle deeper into rest. Now imagine the body becoming comfortably heavy again. Not an uncomfortable heaviness, just the pleasant weight that appears when muscles no longer need to work. The kind of heaviness that belongs to sleep. The head resting comfortably on the pillow, the neck soft and relaxed, the shoulders sinking gently into the mattress, the arms resting loosely at your sides, the hands still and warm. Now imagine that comfortable heaviness spreading through the center of the body, across the chest, through the stomach, into the lower back and hips. Each area relaxing more deeply with every breath out. The hips heavy and supported, the thighs relaxed, the knees loose, the calves soft and still, the feet resting comfortably at the end of the bed. Now the whole body lies in a single state of relaxation. Still, quiet, completely supported. And when the body reaches this level of comfort, the mind often begins to follow. Thoughts slowing, attention drifting, the mind gradually letting go of the need to stay awake. You may notice thoughts appearing briefly, small fragments of ideas or memories. That is simply the mind releasing the last pieces of waking awareness. Those thoughts do not need attention. They can simply drift away, like distant sounds fading into the night, appearing softly, then disappearing again, each one becoming less important, each one fading faster than the last. Now imagine the mind gently drifting downward towards sleep again. Not suddenly, not quickly, just drifting, like floating slowly downward through warm darkness. Each breath carrying you a little deeper into rest. Each moment allowing the mind to soften more completely. You may even notice that thinking requires less effort now. Thoughts appearing more slowly, sometimes only half-formed ideas, sometimes only brief images drifting through the mind. Those fragments are simply signs that the mind is moving towards sleep again. The boundary between wakefulness and sleep becoming thinner, more delicate. almost transparent. And every breath out carries you closer to that gentle crossing, closer to the moment when the mind simply lets go. Allow that drifting to continue naturally. There is nothing you need to control, nothing you need to guide. Sleep returns most easily when the body is relaxed and the mind is quiet. And both of those things are already happening now. The body heavy and still, the breath calm and steady, the mind drifting gently through quiet spaces between thoughts. Those quiet spaces growing longer, more peaceful, more comfortable. And somewhere inside those quiet spaces, sleep begins to return naturally, effortlessly, just as it always has. The body remembering the familiar rhythm of night, breathing slow, muscles soft, awareness fading gently into sleep again. And as you continue resting here in the quiet of the night, something important begins to happen inside the mind. The mind begins to remember sleep, not as something distant, not as something difficult to reach, but as something familiar. Something the body already understands deeply. Every night, your body moves through sleep naturally, through gentle cycles of rest, through quiet rhythms that restore and rebalance the system. And waking briefly during the night does not interrupt that rhythm. It is simply part of it. A moment where the mind surfaces slightly before drifting downward again. And now that downward drifting is beginning once more. You may notice how the body continues to settle, the shoulders resting heavily against the bed, The arms loose and comfortable. The legs completely relaxed. Each muscle allowing the mattress to support it fully. And when the body becomes this relaxed, sleep begins to feel closer again. The mind becoming softer. Thoughts slowing. The spaces between thoughts growing wider. Inside those quiet spaces, the mind begins to drift. You may notice that thoughts appear differently now. Not clear and organized like daytime thinking. Instead, they appear as fragments, half images, soft impressions that fade quickly. This is the mind loosening its hold on waking awareness, allowing sleep to return naturally. There is nothing you need to do to help it. Sleep happens most easily when the mind stops trying, when it simply allows the body to follow its natural rhythm. Now imagine the body gently sinking deeper into the mattress, the weight of the body fully supported, every muscle relaxed, the head resting comfortably on the pillow, the neck soft, the shoulders heavy and still, the arms resting easily beside you, the hands warm and relaxed, the chest rising slowly with each breath, then settling again, the stomach soft, the hips heavy against the mattress, the legs completely at rest. And as the body settles deeper like this, the mind begins drifting further towards sleep. Each breath out, allowing awareness to soften slightly more. Each breath out, carrying you closer to sleep again. You may notice small moments where the mind drifts away. Moments where awareness fades briefly, then returns again. Those drifting moments are the doorway back into sleep. And every time the mind drifts like that, the doorway opens a little wider, until eventually the mind simply passes through it, without effort, without needing to notice the moment it happens, because sleep does not require observation. It simply unfolds when the body is ready. Now imagine the night around you becoming deeper and quieter. The world outside resting. The room calm and still. Everything around you encouraging sleep. The darkness helping the mind release the day. The silence supporting the body as it relaxes further. Each breath slower, each moment calmer. And as this quiet continues, the mind becomes less interested in thinking. Thoughts lose their urgency. Ideas fade before they fully form. The mind beginning to prefer drifting instead of analyzing. That drifting sensation grows stronger now, like floating gently downward through warm darkness. Each breath carrying you deeper into rest. Each moment allowing awareness to soften further. And the more the body relaxes, the easier sleep returns. Because the body knows exactly what to do next. It remembers the rhythm of night. It remembers how to move naturally into deeper sleep again. And as this gentle drifting continues, the mind becomes quieter with each passing moment. The body already resting deeply. The breath slow and calm. The mind beginning to release the final threads of wakefulness. You may notice how comfortable it feels when there is nothing to solve, nothing to organize, nothing that needs attention right now. The night is a place for rest, a time when the mind can let go of the day completely. Earlier thoughts no longer feel important. The events of the day fading further into the background. Because the body has already moved into the quiet rhythm of night. And when the body reaches this rhythm, sleep begins to return naturally. You may notice that the mind now drifts in unusual ways. Small fragments of images appearing briefly. Half-formed thoughts dissolving before they finish. Moments where awareness fades for a while, then gently returns again. Those drifting moments are part of the doorway back into sleep. Each time the mind drifts like that, the doorway opens further, until eventually awareness slips through it completely, and the body continues sleeping without effort. Now, imagine the mind floating gently downward through layers of quiet darkness, each layer softer than the one before, each breath carrying you a little deeper, the body becoming heavier and more comfortable, the muscles resting completely, the bed supporting you perfectly, the head comfortable on the pillow, the shoulders loose and relaxed, the arms resting easily, the chest rising slowly with the breath, then falling again, breathing steady, soft, natural. The stomach relaxed, the hips heavy against the mattress, the legs completely still, the feet resting comfortably at the end of the bed, every part of the body supported, every muscle at ease. And when the body becomes this relaxed, the mind begins drifting deeper into sleep again. The spaces between thoughts becoming longer now, wider, more peaceful. inside those quiet spaces, the mind begins to disappear into sleep. You may notice that the voice itself becomes distant, sometimes heard, sometimes fading away entirely. And that is perfectly natural, because the mind does not need to listen in order to sleep. Sleep happens automatically when the body is ready, and the body is already moving toward that state again. Each breath slower, each muscle softer, each moment quieter than the one before. Now, imagine the mind floating gently on a calm night sea. The surface perfectly still. No movement, no disturbance, just the quiet rhythm of the water beneath you. That gentle rhythm matching the rhythm of your breathing. Slow, even, calm. And as you float there quietly, the body becomes even more relaxed. The mind drifting further into sleep. The world around you quiet and dark. Everything supporting rest. Nothing needing attention. Nothing requiring thought. Just the calm darkness of night, encouraging the body to sleep again. You may notice now that awareness becomes lighter, more distant, the mind gradually releasing its hold on wakefulness, thoughts fading before they fully appear, images dissolving into quiet darkness, moments of drifting becoming longer and deeper. And somewhere inside that drifting, sleep begins to return naturally, without effort, without needing to notice the moment it happens, because the body simply remembers how to sleep. And when the body remembers, sleep arrives easily, quietly, gently, just as it always has. now that quiet drifting continues naturally. The body already settled, the breath slow and steady, the mind gradually becoming less interested in staying awake, because the night itself encourages sleep. The darkness, the stillness, the calm rhythm of breathing, all of it guiding the body gently back toward rest. You may notice now how the body seems to sink a little deeper into the mattress. Not suddenly, just gradually, as though gravity itself is helping you relax further. The shoulders soft and heavy, the arms resting comfortably, the hands loose and warm, the chest moving gently with each breath, the stomach soft and relaxed, the hips settled deeply against the bed, the legs completely at ease. And when the body reaches this level of comfort, the mind naturally begins drifting further into sleep. You may notice that thinking requires very little effort now. Thoughts appearing more slowly, sometimes only fragments of ideas, sometimes brief images that dissolve before they fully form. That is simply the mind moving away from wakefulness, entering the softer rhythms that lead to sleep. Allow that process to continue naturally. There is nothing you need to follow, nothing you need to analyze, just the quiet movement of the mind drifting between thoughts and silence. Those moments of silence becoming longer now, more comfortable, more peaceful. Inside those quiet spaces, the mind begins to fade gently into sleep. You may notice small moments where awareness disappears briefly, then returns again. Those moments are simply the mind crossing the boundary between wakefulness and sleep. Each time that happens, the boundary becomes easier to cross, until eventually the mind simply drifts across it completely, and the body continues sleeping naturally. Now, imagine the night around you becoming deeper and quieter, the outside world resting, the room calm and still, everything supporting the rhythm of sleep, the darkness helping the mind release the last traces of the day, the silence allowing the body to relax completely, the bed supporting you gently as you drift deeper into rest, the breath continuing slowly and steadily, each inhale calm and easy, each exhale releasing the final layers of tension. And with every breath out, the body seems to sink slightly deeper into comfort. The mattress supporting you perfectly, the pillow holding your head comfortably, every muscle relaxed, every part of the body at ease. Now, imagine the mind floating gently through soft darkness behind the eyelids, like drifting slowly through calm night air, weightless, quiet, peaceful, each breath carrying you a little deeper, each moment allowing awareness to soften further. Thoughts fading quickly now, appearing briefly, then disappearing again. The mind beginning to prefer drifting instead of thinking, because drifting is easier, more comfortable, more natural at this time of night. You may even notice that listening requires less attention now, the voice becoming softer in the distance, sometimes heard, sometimes fading away as the mind drifts further into sleep. And that is exactly how the mind moves into rest. Gradually, quietly, effortlessly. The body already remembering the rhythm of night. Breathing slow, muscles soft. Awareness gently dissolving into deeper sleep again. And as the minutes pass quietly, the mind drifts further away from wakefulness, further into the calm darkness where sleep lives. Nothing to do, nothing to follow, just the quiet rhythm of the body returning naturally to sleep. And now there is nothing further that needs to happen. The body already resting deeply. The breath slow and gentle. The mind drifting quietly between thoughts and silence. There is no effort required now. No need to listen closely. No need to follow any words. Just resting. Allowing the body to continue its natural movement back into sleep. You may notice the comfortable weight of the body against the mattress. The shoulders relaxed, the arms resting loosely beside you, the hands warm and still, the chest rising softly with each breath, then settling again, breathing slow and easy, the stomach soft and relaxed, the hips heavy against the mattress, the legs loose and comfortable, the feet resting quietly, every part of the body supported completely. And when the body rests like this, the mind naturally begins drifting deeper into sleep. Thoughts becoming softer, less organized, less important, sometimes appearing briefly before fading away again, each one dissolving into the quiet darkness behind the eyelids. Inside that darkness, there is calm, a calm that belongs to the night, a calm that allows the mind to release the day completely. Now imagine the mind floating gently through that calm darkness, like drifting slowly across a quiet night sky. No direction required, no effort needed, just floating, each breath carrying you a little deeper into rest, each moment allowing awareness to soften further. You may notice now that the voice becomes something distant, sometimes heard, sometimes fading away completely as the mind drifts further into sleep. That is perfectly natural, because the mind does not need to listen in order to sleep. Sleep happens automatically when the body is ready, and the body is already moving toward that deeper rest now. The breath continuing slowly, the muscles soft and relaxed, the mind drifting through quiet spaces between thoughts. Those quiet spaces becoming longer and more peaceful. Sometimes awareness fades for a moment, then returns again briefly. And each time that happens, the mind moves closer to sleep, closer to the deeper rhythm of night, where the body restores itself, where the nervous system settles, where the mind rests completely. Allow that drifting to continue naturally. There is nothing you need to guide, nothing you need to change. Just the quiet rhythm of breathing, the comfortable stillness of the body, and the mind gently fading into sleep again. there is nothing further to do, nothing further to notice. Just the quiet rhythm of breathing continuing naturally. The body resting comfortably exactly where it is, supported by the mattress beneath you. The shoulders relaxed, the arms resting easily, the hands loose and still, the chest rising slowly with each breath, then settling again, breathing calm and steady, the stomach soft, the hips heavy against the bed, the legs completely relaxed, every muscle resting, every part of the body quiet and still. Thoughts may appear briefly, then fade again, just as easily. Each one less important than the last. And between those thoughts are peaceful spaces, soft moments where the mind rests completely. Inside those quiet spaces, sleep continues naturally. The breath slow, the body calm, the mind drifting comfortably through the darkness of night, sometimes listening, sometimes fading away into sleep again. Both are part of the natural rhythm of rest. And if the mind drifts fully into sleep, the body will simply continue resting peacefully, breathing slow and steady, muscles relaxed, the night quiet and supportive around you, allowing the mind to drift, allowing the body to sleep.